Morning, everyone. Start in just a moment. I'm going to share my screen. Cool. Okay, can everyone hear me? Awesome. Right. So good morning. So 3 weeks ago, John Lewis put their entire product catalog into ChatGPT and Gemini, the whole thing as part of a £800 million transformation program. There's a great article here that they released, just giving some details on kind of what they're doing in terms of their positioning on those channels. And yeah, I'm just going to give a few insights here on kind of where this is going. But yes, so the John Lewis bet essentially. So if you sell anything, you're competing now with that competes with John Lewis. You are essentially competing with them on the AI channels. So any homewares, fashion, electricals, your customers can now ask ChatGPT best coffee machine under £200 and get a John Lewis product before they ever see your site. So an example here, best coffee machine under £200 in ChatGPT, you're getting these results live in the results. And if we scroll down here, look, there's John Lewis right there in the shopping results within ChatGPT itself, and then you can click through to the John Lewis site and purchase that coffee machine. So yeah, and that's so essentially that they're going directly to John Lewis. They're not it's essentially going through Google. And they're not seeing the other results. So yeah, you've got very specific products with specific prices from specific retailers, and yeah, ChatGPT's shopping and research feature is live and actively recommending products. Some of you will probably see your competitors here. Some of you won't see yourselves. Now, what makes this interesting is essentially payments, PYMNTS. Intelligence. They surveyed customers in January and found that 41% are already doing this. Essentially AI driven search. So they're using AI instead of Google to find products. A third of them have already completely stopped using traditional search. I know myself, I very rarely use traditional search. Now I tend to go straight to Gemini and search from there. But yeah, as the part I keep coming back to is when they find what they want, they're clicking through to the retailer site to buy it, which means they're much further down the funnel in that process. So yeah, so ChatGPT or OpenAI tried to keep the purchase itself inside the chat. So a while ago, they released this personal shopper, should we say? So you were able to purchase things from within the chat on sites like name's gone now, but yeah, the shopping sites, and yeah, they tried to keep that inside the chat. So you were doing the entire purchase. Shopify, sorry. They tried to keep the entire purchase inside the chat, and yeah, they launched instant checkout in September. It was US only, and roughly 30 Shopify merchants signed up to it. But the conversion rate was near zero, so they scaled it back in early March and moved it out of the core chat into a separate app. Now, there was a number of reasons behind this. I do actually think that this is probably the future, but it just wasn't ready yet. So they need to put a bit more work into this and yeah, get it into a state where it's useful. So they moved it out of the core chat and into a separate app, so it's not gone entirely, but yeah, it will be back, I think. But it gives us a bit of breathing room in the meantime. So yeah, article here from Futurism saying that the AI shopping has been a disaster. The product recommendations are still there in the chat you saw. So the product recommendations are coming through. This is as of yesterday. And yeah, it's the checkout piece itself within ChatGPT. So now ChatGPT is a product research tool that sends buyers to your site. So yeah, so 41% of your customers are using AI to research now on average. Every single one of them will end up on someone's website to make a purchase. So the question isn't really whether AI matters; it's whether the website is yours or your competitors inside ChatGPT or Gemini or wherever it's going to show up. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're the one that's being cited in those responses. So yeah, so over the past 10 weeks, I've run the show every week. I've talked to brands, I've looked at data, I've walked through case studies, we've released reports, done a lot of research, we've studied case studies, our own client work. And today I'm pulling all of it into one playbook with 5 things to do in order starting this quarter that I think are most important moving forward. First of all, before we start, so I'm dropping a link to the AI commerce briefing in the chat. This is our newsletter. It's 1 email per week, but it covers the AI commerce shifts like this that UK D2C brands need to act on with the stats to back it up. We're focused on UK at the moment. Probably does apply wider, but yeah, UK is our focus area right now. So I'll drop that in the chat, and it's public chat. There we go. Cool. And yeah, so it's free, so grab it if you want it. And yeah, let's get back into the topic. So I'm going to try not to read you a list of stats. There's a lot of stats that we did pick up through this quarter. Instead, what I want to do is kind of walk you through what actually happened in Q1, because I think it tells a bit of a story. And if you weren't paying close attention, you might have missed kind of the moment that things changed. So yeah, there was a bit of a traffic reversal that nobody expected. So there's a great report from Adobe that's come out, the AI traffic report. It's loads of information here, but one of the key pieces I want to focus on is AI referral conversion has overtaken non-AI. So as of late last year, essentially AI referred traffic overtook it. So 12 months ago, AI referred visitors to retail sites were worth less than everyone else. Non-AI visits generated 51% more revenue per visit. The assumption was reasonable that AI sends window shoppers, Google sends buyers. But then something flipped. Adobe analyzed over 1 trillion retail visits and found that the AI referrals actually now convert 31% higher than non-AI sources. The revenue per visit from AI surged 254% or something, and the visitors spend 45% longer on site. They view 13% more pages and they bounce 33% less. It's a lot of stats, but basically what it means is when they get to your site, they're ready to buy. So the whole product discovery has happened off-site on the LLMs. Now that could be your content being cited in the LLMs, but it's that when they get to your site, they're much further down the funnel, much more ready to buy. So yeah, in 12 months, AI referred visitors went from your worst performing channel to your best, not incrementally. It's been a complete reversal. So so why basically people want to use the people using AI to shop, they aren't casual browsers anymore. They've done the comparison in the AIs, they've narrowed down the options. By the time they click through to your site, they're way further along that buying journey than a Google searcher would be, who's still trying to kind of figure out what they want. On your own site, ChatGPT probably drives on average 16% of traffic to the most read article, and visitors from Perplexity have a 0% bounce rate. Every single one reads the full piece. So this is intent-rich traffic, is well close to 0%. But yeah, so on average, it's a huge impact that's coming from these channels, the one that we need to cater for. So a little bit more on kind of the checkout experience. So yeah, so OpenAI. So long story short, this is the roadmap we're kind of recommending. It's a series of considered steps, starting with quick wins and leading to an AI first approach to D2C commerce based on the latest trends and forecasts. But let me dig into why this is kind of so important. So OpenAI, again, favorite story from Q1, because it tells you everything about where the real opportunity sits. So in September 2025, OpenAI announced that ChatGPT would have the instant checkout. The vision is a seamless kind of experience where you can research and buy from within ChatGPT itself. So you can chat about the product, you buy it right there in the conversation. There's no redirect, no website, no friction. To the dismay of many website owners, but essentially it's just another channel to sell on. So So October, February, roughly 30 ChatGPT merchants went live. The UI exists. You can technically buy it if you use the app now. OpenAI started taking a 4% fee on transactions, which we reported, and then nothing. Basically, conversions were near zero. Forrester ran a survey across the US, UK, and Canada and found that completing a purchase inside an AI assistant is the least adopted use case among regular AI users at this point. It's not even close. Kind of discovery, research, comparison, they all rank way higher. And the actual purchasing bit is like last. Then, so February 2026, reporters discovered that OpenAI hadn't built the kind of sales tax collection infrastructure. That's the tell. Like, if you haven't built tax compliance, you're never expected meaningful transaction volume, and the whole thing was US only, so it was never launched out in the UK or Europe. So one bit to focus on. So early March, kind of the instant checkout was scaled back. This is the article from Forrester. So they moved out of the core into a separate app. Shopify's agentic storefronts now redirect all purchases back to the merchant's own site. So ChatGPT's product recommendation and shopping research features, they're live and active. They just send the customer to you for checkout. It's a great article if you want to have a read through. Kind of gives an overview of kind of where this kind of came from. There's the focus is basically on discoverability, not on giving up the checkout to ChatGPT at this point. In short. So this article from Digital Commerce. So one of the key things in here is 118 of the top 2,000 online retailers in North America were using Shopify as their e-commerce platform. I'm referencing America because that's where this took place. So Shopify is a huge group of users that are essentially using this platform. The lesson isn't really that AI shopping has failed. Product discovery through AI is thriving, and ChatGPT's shopping research is live and actively sending traffic. What failed was the in-chat purchasing. The customer wants the AI to help them find the product, but they want to be on your site to help them buy it. There's a number of reasons for that, from understanding about the brand, kind of points, like customer like referral programs, all those extra pieces that you get from actually being on site and understanding, like, is it a B Corp? Is it like what's their carbon status? Like all those sorts of things that you want to understand about a brand before you buy, and you just don't get that experience within a ChatGPT checkout unless you're going through asking each one of those questions in turn, which you're just not really going to do. So, and whereas the sites are obviously they're optimized for conversion, showing those pieces at the right point of the checkout experience. So, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. This River Island, but the agentic commerce protocols were a big piece. So, there is a walled garden war around this data. So, while OpenAI was failing at checkout, three things happened simultaneously that most people missed. So, we had the Google and Shopify launched their universal commerce protocol, the NRF in January. It was an open standard. 20 plus retailers endorsed it. Gymshark signed up, and crucially, Google AI mode charges 0 fees on transactions, whereas OpenAI was charging 4%. Second, we had Amazon got a court order to stop Perplexity's AI from buying things on its marketplace, which and eBay updated its terms to explicitly ban AI shopping agents. Both companies are spending billions building their own AI shopping tools instead. But it basically means is your own personal AI shopping assistant can't check out for you on those sites at this point in time. And then third, Azoma launched the agentic merchant protocol in London. So L'Oreal, Unilever, Mars backed a retailer controlled standard. So if you read the patent here, essentially every major platform wants AI to drive customers to their storefront and not bypass it. Amazon and eBay are building walls to stop AI buying on your behalf, and Google is building roads with no toll to your site. So Shopify is making your store the default destination as well. So if you're a D2C brand, this is actually good news. Like the walled gardens are fighting each other, and your own site is the one place that AI every AI platform can send traffic to. So yes, so let me show you what happened that was the results there. So what happened in the UK specifically, because this stopped being a Silicon Valley story in Q1 this year. So first of all, we had John Lewis. So they put their entire product catalog into ChatGPT and Gemini. As I mentioned, that's the £800 million transformation program. So huge investment there. We had Gymshark as well. And actually, John Lewis, they partnered with Commerce Tools and made that machine readable for AI. So it was a big piece of kind of optimizing their site for AI. And then Gymshark signed up as an early adopter for Google AI mode. So customers will be able to buy Gymshark products directly inside Google Search and the Gemini app. And Tesco as well. So you had John Lewis, we had Tesco, and Gymshark, which I don't have. So Tesco signed an agreement with Mistral AI, 3-year deal. So Mistral is the only European company really building large language models like OpenAI and such. They're creating a joint AI lab. They're the first UK retailer really to do this. We had our own research, which was published on the Retail Gazette on the 19th of February. The headline was this: UK retailers are seeing higher conversion rates when using conversational AI search. It was a great piece of research, and there's a full link to the study in there as well if you want to grab a copy of that, so you can see the full article there as well. So one of the key pieces was that 80% of UK retailers expect online sales growth in 2026 driven by AI, and 30% of UK adults are open to AI acting as a personal shopping agent. So the expectation is still there. It's still they're in this territory of they're warring over the walled gardens. So this quarter the UK brands went from asking really should we think about AI to actually putting real budget behind it. So I think that's one of the biggest impacts that we've seen. Okay, so that's the landscape. The AI traffic is up. It converts better. Nobody really buys through AI at the moment, but the infrastructure is live. UK brands are moving. Links to everything that I'm kind of going through are going to be in the chat. I'm going to drop our AI commerce briefing in there as well if anybody missed it. That's our weekly D2C news updates. It's there if you want it. It's kind of this kind of breakdown landing in your inbox every week. So now I want to get into the 5 lessons, the patterns that keep showing up across every show we've done in this quarter, basically. So so each of these maps to a webinar that we ran, these original pieces. If I can find gone now. But so I'll tell you the story behind all these numbers. The quick question for you: has anyone watching checked what ChatGPT has actually, or what ChatGPT says about a brand when you do a chat? Drop a yes or a no in the chat, and let us know kind of if you're seeing yourself showing up in those results. If you're seeing anything in analytics showing that you've got traffic coming from ChatGPT. It'd be great to kind of hear your experiences. So drop those in the chat, and we'll kind of follow up on those afterwards. So the organic traffic model is already broken to an extent. So back in February, our headline focus stat was that 64% of Google searches ended with 0 clicks. That was one of the biggest things that essentially we saw a huge shift from the year before. But the number that really bothered me was the retail keywords triggering AI overviews, because when AI overviews appear, the click-through rates drop 47%. So what this really looks like in practice is somebody searches for that, what's the best espresso machine under £200, and they see the result there in Google, and they never actually go through to your site. So it's a huge impact on kind of that discovery traffic going through to your site to kind of do that initial early funnel discovery on what's the best product. So So yeah, so now maybe a year ago you would have seen like a paid ad, you would have seen an organic listing, maybe a review site. Now you see the paid products first, with kind of product recommendations, with like the paid ads. The AI overview answers the question that you've asked directly, and it's not until you get all the way down here that you're seeing the organic listing. You've got all the references there for the cited articles. So, and Reddit is just showing up everywhere. LinkedIn and Reddit are the kind of the main two sources. And yeah, it's huge essentially. So yeah, organic results appear all the way down here. It's not to say doing things organically is no longer relevant, because obviously all that organic traffic is what the LLMs need. They need that kind of content marketing to actually push traffic to your site. So it's still really important. They use their own search engines, and they don't necessarily go for page one. They'll go for the most relevant article based on the content of your site and the trustworthiness. So, and I'll come back to that in a minute. We've got a nice audit that you can do to essentially audit your pages and actually see how well you're doing, and what you can change. It gives kind of recommendations. But yeah, so ChatGPT has 900 million weekly active users. So that was as of February 2026, and 35% of Gen Z used it for product searches in the last month alone. And yeah, the shift isn't coming. It's like it kind of happened while most brands were still debating whether or not to update their SEO strategy. Like it's moving fast. And yeah, so our February 18th show, I want to kind of demonstrate something. So so let me just refresh this. It's gone down. Right, there we go. Right, so ASOS.com I've just picked randomly, but this is a typical fashion site. It's typical of just about every fashion site out there right now, in terms of the kind of the experience. So what I'm going to do is essentially look for men's jeans or something. So you go, right, what have we got here? So we've got bunch of cards, can't really see what I'm looking for there. Go into the menu, it opens on women by default, but you have to click on men, then go into clothing. Then what are we looking for here? Jeans. Go to jeans. How many clicks is that so far? 4. Then got a variety of jeans in here, and yeah, there's pages and pages and pages essentially. So I've now got to do lots more filtering, maybe by color. Maybe I want blue jeans or something like that. And yeah, no, that didn't work. So how do I apply it? Not sure. There we go. But essentially it's a whole load of clicks, and I'll get through to my my results, get through to a page, and then finally I'm here with the results. Now that was what, at least 4 clicks, 5 clicks, maybe 7 clicks. Like it was a lot of clicks to get through to that page. Now, for a Gen Z shopper doing this, they won't. They find this browsing and clicking as a form of friction. So so yeah, 43% of Gen Z actually start their product searches on TikTok rather than Google, and 70% actually using AI tools for their shopping. So they're using ChatGPT and Gemini and such to do their research. Now, it's a generation that doesn't really think in categories; they think in questions. So what should I wear to a festival in the rain is kind of it's not a filter combination; it's a conversation. So if your site only speaks in drop downs and checkboxes, you're speaking a language that they don't use. And the uncomfortable part is that users will form an opinion about your website in about 50 milliseconds. So it's 0.05 second, tiny amount of time to make an impression. And 88% won't come back after they've had a bad experience. So you get one shot with this cohort, and they're already spending less time on your site because they did all the product discovery in the LLM's web front. So you've got a very small window of time to make an impact. Typically, what that means is that now you need to have a site that is responding in real time based on what they're doing and has the tools available to them to have a conversational experience. So that may mean doing progressive enhancement, doing like by profiling of the user in real time, like what did they click, what did they search, what intent did they have when they did their search, and extracting the key variables from that to then dynamically change the site and pull your relevant products in front of them so they can see actually they do have the product that I'm looking for, and they have all these related things as well. Like that's the experience that needs to happen in well in a few seconds essentially. So you got to make the initial impact, and then you've got to showing them that they've got the tools, and then when they use the tools, you've got to make the site be personalized to them in a matter of seconds to keep their attention. So one of our research pieces in February centered around a model we call researchers versus discoverers, and that is basically how millennials search with keywords, and we do our own research, and we know what we want and we type it, whereas Gen Z discovers through conversations. They'll ask that question like, what should I wear to a festival in the rain? They describe what they need and expect the interface to figure it out. So if your site is built for researchers, you're invisible to discoverers, and actually you need to cater for both typically. So so the next thing I want to focus on is this this chatbot essentially that Klarna released. Now it's not strictly retail. It was a support bot, but it has there's a lot of useful insights that we can extract from this story. So everyone kind of quotes this kind of figure that essentially that they saved 32 million in 32 million pounds or 40 million dollars roughly on essentially they've replaced a lot of their customer service people with 700 full-time agents. Had a huge impact on their business, but they did get a lot of learnings, and they did end up kind of rehiring over the way as well. And yeah, everyone knows that headline stat, but almost nobody really knows how it ended. So yeah, in the first month, in January 2024, they deployed the AI assistant for customer service, and within that month, it handled 2/3 of all the customer service chats. So that's 2.3 million conversations through their 700 real-time agents. It was more accurate and led to 25% drop in repeat inquiries. And yeah, things were resolved in 2 minutes compared to 11 minutes. Like the stats are great. What happens essentially that was the headline that everyone kind of quotes, but what kind of happened next was the Klarna started rehiring human agents. So customers have been complaining that the AI gave generic answers and couldn't handle the more complex, nuanced questions. So the AI was brilliant at that simple stuff, order tracking, basic refunds, FAQ type queries. But when somebody had a complicated payment dispute or needed empathy, it fell really short. And this is the lesson that most brands miss. The question isn't really like, should we use AI for things like customer service? The question is, which conversations should the AI handle and which need a human? And the same is true of any retail conversation as well, like sales or marketing conversation. Klarna's mistake wasn't deploying the AI at all. They say they've had a great experience. They still are. It was deploying it for absolutely everything. So the right model is for the AI to use use AI on about 70% of the queries that are simple and repeatable: stock checks, delivery tracking, returns policy, sizing questions, and then use humans for the 30% that needs judgment, empathy, or complex resolution. The AI handles the volume and the humans handle the value. So you need a path to escalate to a human. You need to know to assign certain tasks to a human automatically. The AI can make that decision. It doesn't have to be a person doing that assignment. They're really intelligent and knowing when to pick which tool to use, and one of those tools can be to pass to a human user. So yeah, but that you compare that to kind of most e-commerce chatbots I see, and they say kind of like, "Hi, how can I help you today? Here are some FAQs." It's a search bar with a face. It deflects tickets. It doesn't understand intent. It doesn't capture data or drive revenue. This distinction really matters because it's the same technology that powers Klarna's support AI can actually power your site search. And this is something we've done, which I'll show you a case study in a minute. The same AI chatbots behind the scene. They're agentic search experiences, agentic chatbots, agentic recommendations. All of that kind of product recommendations and personalization. Users get a better experience from that. And any user that kind of engages with an AI powered search will convert rates kind of 200 to 300% higher than keyword search. And site users who use search will spend 2.6%, 2.6 times more than browsers, according to stats. So, yeah, so we got a great case study here from Hammerson. Now, we used AI on this one. It was across 6 or 7 or 8, even 8 shopping centers now, which we have. We've used AI powered tagging to tag the stores based on the domain names, and it's really, we built a great search as well. It's really forgiving. So yeah, if you don't really know what you're looking for, it will show similar things. And it's an immediate search experience. Daily searches increased kind of 9x when we deployed this. They used to have kind of 6 searches on average on one of the sites, and then per month, and then that went to 1,000 in yeah, per month on their search. The response time, we made sure that when we built this, it's not all about AI and the kind of what you can do with AI. It's all the old stuff still matters. So having a fast site, a responsive site, mobile optimized, that stuff still matters. And so we had a really fast search with a 241 millisecond response time. And yeah, their senior growth marketing lead, Claire Cooper here, she said that the increase in daily search volume has far exceeded expectations. So yeah, I don't think they really realized the impact this was going to have. But yeah, we put a lot of effort into this and making it as good as we could. And we're still evolving it now. Yeah, so there's more to come. And then for direct ferries, we built this conversational AI assistant in 15 weeks. It covered their 3,000 routes and 300 plus FAQs that we ingested. Like, this isn't theoretical. This was real time. You could go on, book your ferry, and yeah, ask all the questions you need to ask. Can I take my dog? Can I take a trailer? How many, is it all right if I bring some extra people? Like, you can do all of those kind of conversational things that you would have to go and do research for, but you just ask the question and you get the answer immediately. So yeah, it's a completely different experience. And then we integrated that with their existing checkout experience. So we had the essentially the same thing. We had an AI personalized to direct ferries and understood everything about direct ferries, sending the users through to their traditional checkout experience. So best of both worlds there, in terms of the users getting through to the routes that they wanted. So on to the next thing. So the agentic commerce funnel. So I keep coming back to this. This was again from February. So 58% of shoppers research via AI agents, but only 17% are comfortable completing a purchase through one. That was in our guide. 95% will perform some form of manual verification before buying. That could be the customer asks, say, ChatGPT for the best running shoes for flat feet. ChatGPT would recommend 3 options with prices and links. The customer clicks through to the brand site and then checks, like, is the price the same? Is it in stock? Can I return it? Is this a real company? What do the reviews say? Is it B Corp? Like, all those things that they might want to know before they do a checkout, they're doing on site. And then, but then when they arrived, obviously they knew what they wanted. So if you've, a question for you. So if you bought something online in the last month, think about the last step that you did before you clicked buy. Like, did you check reviews? Did you look at the returns policy? Did you compare the price on another tab? Like that's the verification instinct that everyone's got. And yeah, that instinct is why AI checkout failed. Really, it's not a technology problem, it's a trust problem, and people want a human verified moment before they hand over their money. So your site is that moment, and the brands winning right now, they're trying to keep customers away from AI. They're making sure that when AI sends customers to their site, the verification experience is seamless. They're getting a great experience on the site in terms of traditional UX. The reviews are above the fold. There's real-time stock levels. There's a clear returns policy, fast mobile load, structured product data that matches what the AI told them, so it's feeding back in. But yeah, so while a competitor is spending 6 figures on an AI agent, you could just spend 5K just making your product pages load in under 2 seconds, convert more customers, make it readable to the AI. But yeah, it's not as fun to present in a board meeting. And yeah, the AI agent is definitely the way, like something to invest in. But there's some real groundwork to put in place just to get the sales up, essentially, to get the users that you do already have coming to your site converting, and then you can focus on the agentic AI and the kind of the search and sales. But yeah, this the personalization gap it's a data problem disguised as a technology problem. So this was last week's show. So 71% of consumers want this kind of personalized offers. 34% of brands are delivering it. So there's a huge gap between kind of who wants it and who's delivering it. Most brands will blame their technology. They'll say, like, we need a better customer data platform, we need an AI recommendation engine, we need a personalization platform. I spent a lot of time on this on our last webinar, I think it was, and yeah, it the problem isn't really the technology, it's the data. So where are you pulling the data from? So 44% of organizations say that their data quality is adequate for AI personalization, but only 39% have a shared customer data platform that's kind of used by the whole business. So your CRM doesn't talk to your search platform. Your search platform doesn't talk to your support tool. Your support tool doesn't talk to your product recommendations. Meanwhile, you've got cookie deprecation, meaning that 40 to 70% of your visitors now deny tracking. So the data source that you built your entire personalization strategy on is disappearing. The fix isn't really buying another platform. It's capturing intent through conversation. So when somebody types in, I want a blue dress for a summer wedding under £100, size 12, into your site search, and the query tells you more about that query tells you more about their intent than 50 pages of kind of cookie tracked browsing history. Like, there's so much you can extract from a rich search query. It tells you the color preference, the occasion, the budget, the size, all in one sentence. There's probably a bit of urgency in there as well. And yeah, through that you can do your progressive profiling. So, and that profiling through interaction beats static segmentation from cookies. Like, every search query, every chatbot conversation, every product comparison they're doing on site becomes a first party data point. There's no cookies, third party cookies required, no consent banner friction. Essentially, you're seeing what they're doing in real time on your site and then personalizing to that aspect. Cool. So yeah, AI just drives the discovery. Your site drives conversion. Conversational interfaces capture that intent data that makes personalization work. Structured product data makes you visible to the AI in the first place. It's a flywheel, essentially. So and the vast majority of brands haven't really started spinning this. So yeah, there's 5 actions in priority order, and I'm going to be specific about the kind of timelines because yeah, consider exploring AI isn't really it's useless advice. You need to get in there and start implementing these things to see some difference. But there's an order to it, in a way that you can do some light touches first that make an impact, that then drive the next investment that may be more significant. So before I go through these, be great to hear kind of what your biggest blocker is right now. So let me know, kind of, is it that you don't know where to start? Is it that you know what to do but don't have the budget? Is it that you have the budget but no internal capability? Or are you already doing these things already? Yeah, drop it in the chat, and yeah, we'll kind of have a discussion afterwards. But the first action really is to find out where you stand. Now, in order to do this, you need to do a geo audit. So where do you stand with the LLMs? So if you go to chatgpt.com or Gemini and you search for a product that your brand sells, maybe also try perplexity.ai with the same query, look at the difference between all of these platforms and see what comes back. So that's what your customers see. If your brand isn't mentioned, then that's your starting point. Maybe start with the challenge that they would have started with when they're looking for your product. Now, geo audit can check 4 things. So check, like, can crawlers access your page? So can they so all the different bots that need to kind of crawl your page to understand what your site is about from these third party LLMs. They need to crawl your site and understand kind of what like, how trustworthy is your brand? What do you sell? when are you suitable versus other brands. And the way they do that is through essentially these robots that crawl your site and pull out the information and index you. Then one thing you can do to help them along is basically see, is your product data structured? Not just product data, but like organizational data and a whole bunch of other things. But essentially, with the product data, you have your products, you have your offers, your reviews, your FAQs, your images, price, stock levels. All that stuff can be inside the schema that then gets read by the large language models. And having that or not determines whether your AI can easily read your catalog and recommend your products. Then you also have your content citability. So this is where something like an LLMs.txt file comes in. So when AI summarizes your category, like, are your pages the one that it quotes, or is it your competitors? And then on content citability. So so the LLMs.txt essentially is the emerging standard for telling AI systems what your site contains. So you've got to think of it as like the old sitemaps, but for AI. So the way we used to build those XML sitemaps that say all the pages and their importance. Same thing, but for AI. So John Lewis, they didn't really commit to Gemini and ChatGPT on a whim. They measured the opportunity first, and they've made a considered investment in this. So another action for you to take. So you can actually get an audit of your product pages. So we have this audit we've built, and I've just done one here just for this River Island brand that I mentioned I would do. So this is it's a typical product page. I've just picked them at random, but this is kind of representative of just about everyone right now and kind of where they stand in terms of visibility. So this audit will go through several things. It will look at a variety of dimensions and do an assessment of how your pages show up. Now, we built this because it was important to us, like with our own products, and then it was like, actually, we've solved our own problem. Let's give this to everyone else. We have a web page in the work for this, so you can request these yourselves. But I will share a link to the form. Essentially, we've got a quick form you can fill out. But essentially, you just enter the URL and your email, and we'll send you a copy of the report. But I'll walk through kind of what this is and why it's so valuable. Like I say, we built this for ourselves and ultimately to solve our own challenge, and it did. And now we're essentially opening up to everyone else. So Google's AI overviews, ChatGPT's product search, and Perplexity's kind of shopping answers are replacing that click. So when a buyer asks what's the best, and then you've got your product category like coffee machine, the AI tools are scanning the web. They're selecting all those handful of sources, and then they're delivering that answer directly back in the chat. So if your content isn't structured, as we mentioned, for extraction, you're not going to be in that conversation. And traditional SEO would have got you ranked in the search engines, but GEO will get you cited. So there's a few things that you can do to optimize your content, and then we're actually talking about the content itself to make sure that you're shown as a trustworthy source. So we've got 4 dimensions of AI visibility. First of all, we've got extractability. So can the AI tools pull a clean quotable passage from your page? We check content structure, we check heading hierarchy, passage length, and whether you lead with the answer. So it's similar to kind of SEO audits you would have had in the past, with a few important differences. Then you've got trust and authority. So AI systems will cite sources that they trust. So we look for the first-hand experience markers like primary source links, author attribution, the EEAT signals that earn citation priority that you would have had with SEO anyway. And then, semantic and technical aspects as well. So before AI can judge your content, its crawlers need access to that content and context around it. So we verify the bot permissions are in place, that the schema markup is there, that the LLM text is there, and structured data consistency throughout the site. Then you got your sentiment and tone. So AI deprioritizes promotional language. So we're having to change the content of our site slightly to suit how AI will want to index you. So we measure for marketing fluff density and actually reading complexity and whether the writing style helps or hurts your citation chances. Now, this is built by the same engineers who ship AI commerce systems at Fernie. There's the same Fernie team that builds like the AI search tool, the conversational commerce tools, and data engineering systems for enterprise DC brands that we're offering right now. But yeah, if you want a copy of this report, I'll drop a link in the chat. What shall I put here? And yeah, you just submit the URL that you want to audit, and yeah, we'll give you the report back. Just to kind of walk you through it. So you have like a full kind of audit of the page. You're seeing kind of what does the AI think about your page. You've got the quick wins in terms of things you can change, and yeah, things you can add to the schemas and such. You've got the extractability, like how easy was it for the bot to kind of extract certain things, and kind of looking at pieces of the page which could help push you towards a certain being cited in a certain request. So on the LLM, so we're suggesting minor modifications to things like headings, and actually looking at content itself, like is taking simple descriptions and turning them into more quotable passages. As an example, you've got your trust and authority, so looking for kind of point of view markers, reviews, ratings, author attribution, all those sorts of things. Do you have a Wikipedia entry that kind of you have to be of a certain scale to get a Wikipedia entry? Otherwise, it's very easy to get denied one. And yeah, and just making sure you kind of got those update markers and a whole bunch of other things. We also go into the semantic and technical, so looking at kind of do you have all of these pieces in place that would help the LLMs index your pages. So you'll get a JSON schema in place, and yeah, it'll show you basically if you've got one already, like what can you do to optimize it further. We've kind of designed this so that it never kind of says that you're fully optimized. It just keeps suggesting more recommendations. So you can optimize further and further, and it will just keep suggesting the next thing to optimize. And then yeah, what it gives you an example of kind of what good looks like, gives you suggestions on how to change the tone of the content that you're writing. So yeah, go from kind of one piece of text to another, that kind of gives a bit more information, gets rid of marketing fluff, makes it an easy reading level. So we're doing all this stuff kind of for you in terms of altering the content. You just need to copy and paste it in. And yeah, and then gives you a kind of priority matrix. What's the most important, high impact, low effort things that you can do. So yeah, most brands have never really checked whether AI can read their data. And this is, yeah, if you're watching this thinking, I have no idea what ChatGPT says about us, that's what these GEO audits are for. You can apply through the link, and yeah, if you qualify, we will audit your AI visibility, the crawler access, the schema markup, the content citability, all of it, and tell you exactly where you stand and what to fix. And yeah, the link is in the chat there, if you would like to get your own audit done. And yeah, and then we can follow up with a subsequent audit as well afterwards. Cool. So on to the next thing. So mobile conversion gap. So this is the fundamentals bit first, really. It's not glamorous, but this is probably one of the most important things you can do. So every AI referred visitor will arrive on your product page with high intent now. They've already researched, they've already compared, they click through expecting just to verify and buy. So what do they land on? So desktop converts typically at 4.8% and mobile converts at 2.9%. So that's a 40% gap in just the device that's delivering 63% of your traffic on average. 53% of users won't wait longer than 3 seconds for a page to load, either. That's coming straight from Google. So it's really important that we have this in place. Essentially, 76% of users will abandon carts because the website's too slow. Like, there is a lot you can do to optimize sites, and there are some new tools that have come out that can help with things like even video and images. So if your site is media heavy, there's some new AI tools out now that um, essentially can make a big difference to that, and we can give you an introduction if you'd like. Now, um, something you can actually do is take your site, and I did a scan of Levi's, one of Levi's jeans product pages, and you can put it into this page speed insights tool, which I will drop the link to in the chat. This is Google's tool, but essentially you will get a quick assessment of your page and kind of see red, amber, green, kind of where you sit on in terms of all of the important things that Google thinks important. Now, this helps with your ranking. This helps with user experience. Like, there's good reasons behind doing this and optimizing for performance. So you don't need to rebuild your whole site usually to get these things done. You just need to optimize the pages that AI is sending traffic to. So this is things like compressing images using AI, lazy loading below the fold, so below what users can see when the page loads. That quite often there's like an afternoon worth of fixes can have a huge impact. So put reviews above the fold. You want things like for like ARFO visitors, they will have already researched, and the reviews are the verification checkpoint. So we're having just to alter the way pages are structured to put what's most important for them first. And then, yeah, make the search bar on visible on mobile, like really easy, not behind a menu. 15% of visitors use site search, yet they're generating 45% of the revenue. So hiding it behind a menu is hiding your highest converting feature. And then load, you want to load the pages in under 2 seconds, or at least make sure that you've got a time to interactive of under 2 seconds. That is when a user can scroll your page, click on elements. You could still have media items loading, like images and video loading after the fact, but the page should be usable, the text should be visible. And yeah, on average, a one speed improvement drives 27% higher conversions each time you do that. So typically, like you can have results in an afternoon, but for a full kind of optimization, you'd be looking at kind of 2 to 4 weeks. But the impact is probably kind of like a 15 to 25% conversion improvement on mobile. And that's before you even touch any AI tooling at all. This is just optimizing the traffic that's already coming from AI. So the next action is to make your search bar intelligent. So this is probably kind of 4 to 8 weeks of investment, but essentially it's the biggest conversion I've ever found in Q1. And I keep saying it because it keeps being true, but essentially, if you look at so if you go onto ASOS and I search for blue dress for a summer wedding under £100, ASOS are a huge brand. This is how Gen AI is searching, and they're doing keyword matching. You can see quite easily, and they've got a great search, to be honest. But we can see like we're getting results that are outside of what we're searching for. Whereas if you're using AI to help with these things, like you can narrow down to what the user is really looking for really easily. Now, in this one search query, I've got a whole bunch of intent data that can be extracted. And then, yeah, it's essentially that can be used then to personalize the experience. But we could have narrowed down to a closer result set. There's like 100 styles here. No user is probably going to go through 100. Like, narrow down to a closer result set that's actually going to be what the user is looking for. Whereas if we go to like our direct ferries that we built, so I just typed here, get a ferry to Calais from Dover next Friday. And it gives me right there and then the results in the chat, like Dover to Calais next Friday. And there's some results and I can go and check out. I can ask follow-up questions. I can refine further. I can adjust the dates. I can adjust the number of passengers and whether I'm taking a car. Like you can do those things in real time, just conversationally. And it's such a different experience to having to go and figure out those things yourself. So yeah, so this is the essentially the tool that we built for direct ferries, and they're continuing to evolve this, and yeah, it's a great tool, great example of how to do it right. And yeah, one of the key things is like these we give this kind of rich experience within the chat, so they're able to kind of see using traditional UI components the results that are coming out of a text engine essentially, and the AI itself. So yeah, AI powered search users convert rates that are kind of 200 to 300% higher than keyword search. And yeah, when we rebuilt Hammerson Search, they saw a 9x increase. And it matters beyond the conversion. Essentially, every search query is that first party data signal. So you can get all that color, preference, occasion, budget, and size in one sentence. And yeah, it's captured with the kind of zero consent friction. For a typical AI, you can typically lay an AI on top of your existing search catalog in about kind of 6 to 10 weeks. And that can have that same impact on your search users essentially. So you can have the AI interact with your existing search systems. So great example is here on Direct Ferries. We didn't rebuild their search and checkout experience. We laid an AI on top of it, layered on top of the existing experience. So we interact with their existing APIs, their existing checkout experience, but we made this wonderful conversational experience that just reduces that friction. So I've spent 10 weeks talking about AI agents, protocols, and agentic commerce. And really the most impactful thing that you can do if you're a D2C retail brand with a huge catalog is just make your search bar work properly, make it conversational. I wish it was more exciting, but that's the thing that's making the difference here. It's being able to search easier. It's reducing the friction. That's always been the thing that's optimized how well conversions happen on site. And with users that already know what they're looking for, that's the best step you can take. So the next thing is to make your products readable by AI. So I mentioned about the JSON schema. So if you were to let's just open. So we've got John Lewis. There we are, John Lewis. So this product page essentially, I've put through the rich results test from Google, and you can see that they've done a great job here. They've got product snippets, they've got merchant listings, they've got breadcrumbs, they've got organization, they've got review snippets, all as JSON schemas within the within their content essentially. So their products are highly readable essentially. And all you have to do is come to this rich results test and enter the URL of the page that you'd like to test, and you can get a quick audit that says whether or not you need to be making some amends to those pages. So when you're looking at these pages, essentially, if AI comes along, it doesn't see it like this. It will see it more like, oops, where are you? There you are. So it'll see basically this. It's HTML, and typically it's a mess. But what we can do to optimize is basically have those rich JSON snippets inside the content like this, so it can easily then see what the pages are about and then index them accordingly. Cool. So so what you need to implement, so is product schema really, what it sees. So the name, price, availability, reviews, specifications, delivery options, all organized and machine readable. Product schema with kind of complete attributes in place, and FAQ schema for common product questions. AI will cite those directly in recommendations. And you need an LLMs.txt file that's mapping your site structure for AI crawlers. And make sure you've got robots text set up so it allows the GPT bot, the Google bot, and Perplexity bot, Google Extended bot, and all in your robots text. And that will make essentially the site or the page readable to the AI. And so Google AI mode, they're charging 0% on transactions. OpenAI was charging 4%. We'll see if that comes back. Shopify merchants will get agentic storefronts by default this month. The product data will feed into the Shopify global catalog automatically. Non-Shopify brands will need to build that manually. Gartner does predict that 90% of B2B buying will be AI agent intermediated by 2028 if you're on that side of the fence. But the brands that prepare now will get first mover citation advantage. and AI will learn from what it can read today. The timelines, like you're looking kind of 4 to 12 weeks for a significant impact, in that you become highly visible in AI shopping results. So what we're trying to do is build this kind of flywheel process. I've actually got linear, but yeah, so longer the the longer play is that it makes everything else compound. So the idea is really quite straightforward. We replace cookie dependent segmentation with conversation derived intent data and behavior driven intent data. So you have your AI visibility. So that means that visitors can discover you through AI search. You then have your kind of discovery. So yeah, visibility. So kind of structured data makes you visible with the AI platforms. Discovery, so the visitors can discover you through the AI search. You have your on-site conversion. So when AI visitors are converted to your site, you then want to have that higher conversion rate. So that's where we're using personalization, like AI recommendations to personalize the experience in real time. For that, we need to capture the intent of the user. So every interaction, like the conversational search, what they click, what they scroll, in real time, feeding into a model um, that doesn't necessarily need to live on a CDP or anything like that. It can just be like a Firebase database or something, but it needs to be um, in a structure that the AI can refer to in real time, and it needs to be capturing that data in real time. That then leads to better personalization. So then that's where you get your kind of higher customer lifetime value. You get your higher conversion rates, your 10 to 15% revenue lift on average, according to McKinsey. You get then you can then get the higher conversion rate. So that will then drive the repeat purchases to better your customer lifetime value. And what you get from all of that interaction and behavioral data, and particularly the search, is you get more AI citations because you can then tailor your content to raise your profile from inside the LLMs, so that you're cited more often. Your products being well structured and having the right content can then be cited as well. So yeah, it's a huge difference there. So yeah, McKinsey, their data said that basically personalization lifts revenue by 10 to 15% on average. High growth companies can achieve 40% more revenue from personalization than average performers. And this is what separates the brands that will grow in 2026 from the ones that kind of plateau. Its first party intent data is the new competitive moat. It's not ad spend, it's not SEO rankings, it's not influencer partnerships. Um, a lot of the traffic is coming through to your site already. You just need to figure out how to convert it better. That's in short, really. So quick wins. So do the geo audit. I mentioned that's an easy AI visibility check to see how readable your pages are. Do your mobile speed optimization. It's old, but it really matters. Add your schema product markup so you're easy to read. Add the robots text. Make your search an LLM text. Make your search bar visible on mobile as well, so make sure it's really easy and you're improving that conversion difference between desktop and mobile. And then you can look at the bigger investments. So that's things like your conversational AI search. So that could be a 6 to 8 week project. Your kind of UCP agentic storefront integration, and then things like the intent capture. So the progressive profiling of a user, the conversational AI commerce to chat to buy from within your site. Like I said, layer that stuff on, integrate with the services that you already have. It doesn't need a rebuild to do this most of the time. That said, obviously, websites they should be kind of refreshed every kind of 2, 3, 4 years. But yeah, it's important to do it in order. Essentially, the AI visibility stuff is a quick win that can then make a huge impact. That can then drive the rest of the investment and so on. So now you've seen the playbook. Yeah, which are you? I'd love to know which action you're tackling first. So yeah, drop a number in the chat about what you think you're focusing on, and yeah, would love to hear some of your questions. And yeah, see, we've got some from earlier. So we don't have a budget for conversational AI search, so you don't need it yet. So start with what you need to start with. Doesn't really cost anything. The order, the robots text fix, making your search bar visible on mobile. Assuming you already had a development team, those things are free. Schema markup is pretty low cost and low effort. Your existing search probably works on desktop and breaks on mobile, so fixing that is probably a relatively cheap conversation with your dev team just to remove the search bar. But yeah, build the business case for conversational search with the mobile conversion data. So you want to make sure that that experience is great first, and then you'd be looking at kind of 15-25% improvement in like as a stat that you can then convey to your CFO so they'd understand the reason for investing in this. So should we be on Shopify to take advantage of agentic storefronts? No, Shopify has a head start because they built the catalog infrastructure, but UCP from Google is an open standard. So if you're on Magento, Salesforce Commerce Cloud, or Headless, focus on the structured product data and schema markup, as that's what all those protocols read, and then you'll be able to introduce them. The platform matters less than the quality of the data, so focus on that. And how do we manage AI referral traffic? So GA4 already tracks AI referral traffic. So yeah, track your traffic sources for ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot.com, Gemini.google.com. On our site, AI referrals count for about kind of 10% of traffic, and that number is growing. In fact, I think it's massively jumped in the last few days. But yeah, set up a custom segment in GA4 for AI referral sources and compare conversion rates against your other channels, and you'll probably find what Adobe found with AI. So AI referrals were converting higher and bouncing less. Is it relevant for B2B or just D2C? So Gartner predicts that 90% of B2B buying will be AI agent intermediated by 2028. So there's an AI agent involved in that process. If your product data isn't structured for AI, you won't appear in procurement agent results either. So the playbook was the same, like structured data, mobile experience, conversational interfaces. The use cases are different, but the structure is kind of identical. So yeah, if you're still debating whether to add schema markup and your competitor already has it, ChatGPT is recommending their products instead. But yeah, take your time, make sure you do it right, and have good data in there. Yeah, so 10 weeks we had these webinars running. We had hundreds of data points, and what it comes down to is really that AI has solved discovery. So 41% of your customers are using it. I'd say the other group probably not using because they've not discovered it yet. It's still very early days. Like we're only what is essentially it really only unlocked about a year ago, and the traffic that converts from AI converts 31% higher than non-AI, but nobody yet, not OpenAI, not Amazon, not anyone has really cracked the AI purchasing piece. So the customer will still come through to your site to buy for now. So that makes your site the conversion layer, not the AI. So you need to make those optimizations on site to get the best growth. So 5 things in order. So audit your AI visibility, know what ChatGPT sees when somebody asks about your products, fix what they land on, so the mobile speed, the reviews above the fold, the visible search bar, make your search bar intelligent, make your products readable by AI, and build that flywheel. That's really the key. The brands that start with this in Q2, they're going to have a 6 to 12 month head start. The infrastructure for all this is live. The traffic is growing. It's a segment that you should be catering for, and the purchase still happens on your site. So, I mean, I've been building these systems for well over a decade now. The fundamentals haven't really changed in all that time. It's just that the tooling's got dramatically better. So if you want to act on this and yeah, make progress, I've 2 actions for you. First of all, you got our geo website audit I mentioned. So we'll look at your AI visibility, your crawler access, your schema markup, your content citability, and mobile performance, and give you a prioritized action plan. It's application only. We accept the brands that are a genuine fit. And if you're not quite ready for that, then grab the AI commerce briefing for more information. 1 email per week on the AI commerce shifts that UK D2C brands are they need to act on, with the stats to back it up. But yeah, I'll drop both those links in the chat now. So if you want to apply for either of those, the links are there. Here we go. Awesome. So yeah, appreciate you watching, and yeah, I will see you next week. Great. Thanks, everyone.